All right, you can count us in.
Mic test.
You can count us in, Darash.
Mic check. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, there it goes. Okay. We're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. Shabbat Shalom, y'all. How's everybody feeling? Glad to see my brother back in the flesh once again. All the way out here from Oregon, Brother Kalmai. All praise be to the Most High. Come on, y'all clap it up. And while we clapping, let's clap for YASHAMI and the Most High. Give it up. All praise be to the Most High. Man, I was talking with Brother Shamar on the way up here, and we was just saying like how we really lose sight sometime of YASHAMI and the life that he lived for us, the sacrifice, our forefathers, the sacrifices they made for us, right? Especially, man, y'all should have seen me a couple years ago when I finally like really went into getting more history on our people that have been scattered abroad. So I started with the Spanish Inquisition, and you just saw how many of our forefathers like was willing to die and be burnt alive on stakes just to preserve the Bible and make sure that they would. If it wasn't for their sacrifices, man, we probably wouldn't have this word today. There was a lot of blood that was shed, a lot of lives that was lost on behalf of us, you know. And it's a beautiful thing, though. It's 2022. We got Feast of Dedication right around the corner. Yeah, all praise be to the Most High. I'm feeling good. Y'all look like y'all feeling good. And we're going to go proceed with the lesson. Let's open up with the book of Hebrews. Book of Hebrews, chapter 11.
Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
So hold on. For everybody who talks about they got faith, right? The Christians and the Catholics abroad. I got faith in my Lord and Savior, right? I'm faithful. We know what having faith means, right?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely being devoted. How devoted are you to the Most High? How devoted are you to your people, right? But it says that faith, go ahead.
Now faith is the substance of things hoped for.
So faith is the substance of things hoped for. That's like the halfway point of faith. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I believe this is going to happen. And you just got that vain belief in a sense, right? But real faith is this. Go ahead.
The evidence of things not seen.
We don't believe just because we believe. We believe because we have evidence. When the Most High said, Israel, if y'all don't listen to me, I'm going to send y'all into captivity and put you under these curses. Did that not happen? So even though we can't physically see the Most High, we have evidence of the things that he said was going to happen. We have evidence of him being here. So read that from the top.
Now faith is the substance of things hoped for.
So we hope for a lot. We definitely hope to receive salvation first and foremost. Right? But read.
The evidence of things not seen.
And we have little things in our lives that we have the confirmation, right? We have confirmation from the Most High. Where he shows us that, yeah, I'm real, and what you're doing with a purpose. Right? Read.
Or by it, the elders obtained a good report.
So by having faith, that's the reason why we're reading about a lot of our forefathers and foremothers, because they obtained a good report. When you're faithful unto the Most High, you receive a lot of benefits. People love you because you have upright character, right? And the Most High loves you, and he blesses you on so many different levels. Read.
Through faith, we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of Yahweh.
And through faith, we understand how it is everything works with the Most High's creation. We're no longer confused. We see all the different worlds that exist within this one world that we live in, right? Israel, we're a world of our own. And look at everything that we go through and everything that we've witnessed. So we understand that through the word of the Most High and the power of Yahushua, right? We understand it all, but go ahead.
So that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear.
Exactly. And that, again, that's going to show just because we don't see the Most High, it doesn't mean that he's not real. We're evidence of his creation. Everything has a creator. And that's part of the beauty of being alive, right? He made us in his image, being able to create. That's what a God is. You have power. We have the able to create life. We have the ability to bring death. We are gods, but with a little g. But go ahead.
By faith, Abel offered unto God a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous.
And that's the thing. Here it is. We all understand that we Israelites. We all understand that we got laws to keep and that we all have to change and die from our old self. At the end of the day, a lot of times why we find this walk so hard is because we lose sight of what the end goal is. We want to be called righteous. There's so many things we can be called here in this life. You could be called a boss. You could be called a real nigga. You could be called this and that. And some of these things that people lust for, they really want to acquire those titles. I want to be called righteous. Like at the end of the day, like, oh yeah, that was a righteous man. Because that's something everybody can't acquire that title. We have a special calling. And it was crazy because part of our conversation, we was talking about, things that we place value on. Where do you place your values? A lot of times there's not enough value being placed on being a virtuous or a righteous person. There's more value. There's the values are being spread to other things like, oh, I got to get my money up. Yeah. Or, oh, I gotta have the best swag. Or, oh, I got to have this. I got to have the most purses. Like, you placing your values in the wrong spot. Right? But it said, Abel, he offered unto God a more excellent sacrifice than Cain. And we know that we don't give physical sacrifices no more, right? But our lives, we're supposed to be a living sacrifice. We want to make sure that we're doing the same thing that Abel did. But read.
By which he obtained witness that he was righteous.
So everybody knew. For centuries, people have been reading about our forefather Abel. We've never seen him, but guess what? He was righteous. Imagine having that type of report on your name. I ain't never met sister such and such. I ain't never met this brother, but I heard he was righteous. I heard he was off the chain, right? That's glorious. But go ahead.
God testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaketh.
And that's cold. God testifying of his gifts. When you are a righteous person, the Most High blesses you with gifts so that you could bless other people. It's a real selfish mind state that's on our people here. People want to be chosen, cream of the crop, better than everybody else, but by themselves. What fun is that? Right. How are you impacting people's lives being off on an island by yourself? And really they trying to mask a type of fear. Well, I'm going to just, move here, away from civilization. I'm not talking about those who move and go and do the works. I'm talking about those who move and really just be by themselves. Yeah, the Most High didn't call us to do that. He didn't call us to say, you know what? Recognize you're living in hell and leave by yourself. Last time I checked, that wasn't the mission. He said, once you wake up and realize you live in hell, spread the word. Try to get everybody on the same page as you, and then together y'all can leave somewhere, right? Which we know where we trying to go to, right? The kingdom, right? But go ahead.
Verse 5, by faith Enoch was translated.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to talk about that last part where it said, God testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaketh. Do y'all know what that's talking about? Remember when Cain was confronted by the Most High and he said, where's your brother? And he said, I don't know, playing stupid. He said, dude, his blood is crying out to me. The Most High placed that much love and value on a righteous individual to where his blood was testifying on his behalf. His blood was calling from the ground like, hey, I was done wrong. And the Most High went and visited Cain about that. When people would be like, God don't play about me, that's a real statement. But you got to make sure that you live in a lifestyle that complements that, right? Because people will be quick, oh, God don't play about me, child of God, cool. But your lifestyle got to reflect that. But read on.
By faith, Enoch was translated that he should not see death.
Look at that. By faith, Enoch never tasted death. Ain't that something? The one thing everybody up in here understands that unfortunately one day we have to die. Wouldn't it be dope to know that you wouldn't have to die and you wouldn't have to taste that? You just immediately go into paradise? My goodness. But again, we can get those type of results if we're faithful. And America make it hard. America try to make you faithful to get in the bag and accomplishing your goals and achieving your dreams. If being righteous ain't on that list, then you missing the mark. Right? But go ahead.
And was not found because God had translated him.
Mm-hmm.
For before his translation, he had this testimony that he pleased God.
Look at that. I want that testimony. Like, man, for real, for real. For real, for real. We know we're Israelites. And it's crazy. We even say that with kind of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, we think kind of like, we think just being an Israelite is kind of like, whatever now. And I'm not sure the word I'm looking for, but you know what I'm
I like lackluster.
Yeah, and it's like dude, we should be like, we Israel. Like, Jesus Christ is from our bloodline. Man. Moses, King David, King Solomon, Abraham. Whoa. You know how happy sometimes people be just to have a celebrity in their family? I remember when I was young and I found out that Ice Cube was my cousin. I was like, oh. But now I'm like, damn, Christ? That's right. King Solomon, like the most wisest man ever? Whoa. Man. Noah, like, oh my goodness. It's a whole different feeling because we're supposed to be changing what we place value on. It's not that we don't value that type of stuff, right? But the fact that we come from a righteous lineage and that the Most High has literally given us, right? He's passed along the blessing for us to receive the kingdom. That's dope. But read on.
Verse 6. It is impossible to please him.
Now, here's the thing. When it comes down to the Most High, without faith, you can't please him. Some people try to show up for God in all the worst ways and all the other ways than he says, show up for me. He said, just keep my laws and commandments. If we're not being faithful unto the Most High, he's not pleased with us. When we're going through stuff in our lives and we're not turning to the Most High, he's not pleased with us. The whole point of having a God is to have like a beacon of hope and something to look forward to, right? So like when you was going through something and you couldn't help yourself out, you have a God's like, that's my power. He's going to help me out. That's what all the other nations did. They got their idols. Even though it's stupid, they be like, you're going to save me. We don't do that because we know the Most High is bigger than this golden chalice.
But the other nations be having faith.
Yeah, they do.
That's why Christ was like, I've never seen faith. No, not in Israel, because other nations, they be devoted to their idols. They be serious about it. Then we got all the power. We got the testimony. We got the history, and still be shaky about it. Like, oh, man.
Y'all should look it up on Google and or go to YouTube. I believe it's called Day of Asura, which is like the Day of Punishment or Day of Atonement or something like that for the Islamic people, right? They get blades and tie them on strings, and they just whack themselves with it. And they be splitting themselves, gashing themselves, and they doing all of this in for the name of a false God. And we don't even be humble enough to pray on our face to our God. My goodness, go ahead.
But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him.
You see, we have to know. This is something we got to know at the end of the day. Because we go through hell, right? People be like, oh, you know, I'm going through this, I'm going through that. Yeah, it wouldn't be hell if we didn't have that. But the glory is in how we overcome this. That's what the story is all about. Everybody loves the underdog. We're going through all this stuff here, and they just want to see how the hell did he make it out? That's going to be our glorious moment. But the thing is, when we're going through stuff, when we're not turning to the Most High, he's not pleased with that. It says that we have to know that he is a rewarder of those that diligently seek him. Diligently. And y'all know what it means and know what it feels like to be diligent. Because there's been one thing or another throughout your life to where you was like, you know what, I'm going to really go hard for this thing. I want to achieve this thing. Or it might have been a car. Like, you know what, I'm going to go hard for 6 months and save because I want to get this car. And you was diligent about that business. You have to have that same type of drive for this word. And that doesn't necessarily mean make sure you're reading the Bible every single day, but it means your lifestyle. Like when you have those moments where you're being tested, you have to make sure that you're always passing that test. That's how you diligently seek the Most High. When there's an opportunity to do good and an opportunity to do evil, and you're way more prone to do that which is good, then you're on the right path. Right? But go ahead.
Verse 7, By faith, Noah, being warned of God of things not seen as yet.
Now, y'all check this out. It opens up Hebrews 11:1. It says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Read that verse again.
Now faith is the substance of
No,
things.
the one you was at. With
Verse
Noah.
7.
Kinda.
By faith, Noah.
Well, so we're dealing with Noah.
Mhm.
Noah was faithful, wasn't he? How do we know that?
Testimony.
What was his testimony? What did the Most High call Noah?
Build an ark.
No, what did he call him? Like when he said this man's report on how he lived his life, what did the Most High call him? Called him perfect. Yeah, so we know he was faithful, right? He wasn't lacking anything. He was complete, right? So go ahead.
By faith, Noah, being warned of God of things not seen as yet.
So he was warned of the Most High, and the thing didn't happen yet. It wasn't like the floods was open and it was raining down cats and dogs just yet. He was warned about it. And most people don't even know. They act like a couple of months went by and then the rain came. If I'm not mistaken, it was 40 years. He was building that ark for 40 years. Some of us hear a word of something that's to come in the future and we forget about it in 2 weeks. He kept it on his mind for 40 years, diligently. That's a long time. We've all been told by the Most High that this world is going to burn and that America is going to be destroyed. But yet when we find ourselves having temptations and all that in the world and we frustrated, we forget about that. For sisters, it may be that moment where you start cussing your husband out. You forgot that this world is going to be destroyed. Noah didn't forget for 40 years. So it says he was warned of things that didn't come yet. Go ahead.
Moved with fear.
He moved with fear for 40 years. And it's crazy because 40 years is a long time. That's a very long time. I'm not even 40 years old yet. 40 is a long time. But what is 40 years to eternity? That's where it's humbling, right? That's where it starts to get humbling. It's like, ooh, he sacrificed for 40 years, which in this life is a long time, but is nothing compared to him living for eternity. We have to change our mind state. We be thinking next month, next year, 5 years. Ooh, that's a long. We got to change that. The Most High can come back at any day, and that's basically the same thing. He was like saying, look, I can come at any hour. Be ready. How many years you been in the truth? And the years keep adding up. So we don't know exactly when, but we got to move with that fear. Go ahead.
Moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house.
And then check that out. When you move with fear, you start to impact other people. He had an opportunity to save his house, not just himself. It wasn't, he got the warning. He didn't keep it to himself. He started, hey, y'all get y'all stuff together. Most High said he's coming back. I don't know where. I need y'all to help me build. That's what we're all doing here in this room right now. We're preparing a spiritual ark. But go ahead.
By the which he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith. By faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive for an inheritance, obeyed.
Same thing with Abraham. And a lot of people, y'all don't even understand the significance in his story. He was an old man when the Most High called him. And he obeyed to the T. You know how many miles he had to travel? He left twice. He left once with his dad, and then when he got to the place where his dad at, he left again by himself and his family. An old man. It wasn't like he was 20 and he was just like, oh, I'm going to just change my life easy. He was an old man to the point to where even his wife was laughing when he was like, yeah, baby, the Most High said you're going to get pregnant. She started dying laughing like, bro, I'm old as hell. What are you talking about? They were old. We got to really reflect on our forefathers' testimonies. He wasn't faithful for no reason. That took a lot. But go ahead.
By faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive for an inheritance, obeyed, and he went out, not knowing whither he went.
Look at that. He didn't know. Most High didn't give him clear instruction like that. He said, look, you see all of that? Turn to your left, turn to your right, look north and south. This is all you. But I need you to go over there. He's like, where? Just start walking. I'll let you know. And he said, look, this is going to be a land that your sons and your daughters for generations on are going to inherit. When he went there, it wasn't the promised land yet. It was like the precursor. Go ahead.
Verse 9, by faith he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, with heirs, the heirs with him of the same promise.
And we all have that same promise. We going back to that land. And then you really have to think about the mind state of our people. How wicked do you have to be to not want to go home?
Man.
Everybody will sit here and understand we were brought here as slaves. And it's just crazy to me how there is zero desire for our people to want to go home. We'll march, we'll vote, we'll lay down in the street asking for rights, but never once asked to go home or even fought to go home. And that's really what we're getting into tonight with this lesson. Home is worth fighting for. They glorify what happened in the 60s with our people in the civil rights movement, when scripturally that's nothing to glorify about. You sitting there asking and begging your oppressor for peace. Most High said fight about it. Repent and fight. Do what historically your forefathers have done. And then you wonder why they don't teach us what the true meaning of Hanukkah is. You wonder why a black person or a Latino person ain't never heard about a feast of a dedication. They don't want us to know that we was killing our enemies. They don't want us to know that it's okay to hate those that do wrong to you and your people. They don't want that to be normal. They want it to be normal for a little black boy to walk around wearing panties. They want us to think that what Dwayne Wade is doing to his son is okay. Do we not see that this is hell? I'm not confused. I hope y'all not. They mask it well. That's what we was talking about, right?
Man. Literally, like everything that goes on, we think that everything is good. And then we looked out over on the freeway. You just see all the cars in all these directions. It's like it's hard to be able to convince people, like, look, the Most High is about to visit. This place is gonna fall, because when you go outside, everything looks good.
I got a new AMG. What you talking about?
Benzes, everybody's still getting what they want to. You see the lights are still on. You go to the store, plenty of food. Anytime that you want to, you push the button, somebody's bringing you food. You live like a king. We live like servants, but we also live like kings, just out of just all the convenience that we had. That's something that's only a king would have. Bring me food. Push of a button. I'm hungry. And what do I want? This. Now you got it. Uber Eats, DoorDash, couple dollars. Somebody's going to bring your food hot and ready. Let it be something wrong. You complaining. I didn't get the sauce I wanted. I have a problem. Like, we living good. And then we come around and try to tell our people, like, look, this place is about to fall. They look outside like, no, it's not.
That's why it makes sense that they be like, y'all, it's crazy. I'm living good. Like you said, plenty of food. You seen them Thanksgiving plates.
Man.
You know they eating good. And they about to do it all again. It's Christmas right around the corner. They about to eat good. They about to bless that ham in Jesus' name. And open up them presents with pork on their fingers. Abomination upon abomination. My goodness. It's crazy, right? But where we at?
Verse 10, for he looked for a city which hath foundations.
Now, y'all check this out.
Whose builder and maker is God.
I went to the definition of foundation. It says that our forefather was looking for a city with foundation that the Most High is the builder of, right? Foundation. It says a basis, such as a tenet, principle upon which something stands or is supported. Funds given for the permanent support of an Funds given for the permanent support of an institution. An organization or institution established by endowment with provision for future maintenance. The kingdom is all about being eternal, self-sufficient, always being provided for. When Abraham was traveling, he was looking for stability. Because with stability comes safety. Look how unsafe our streets are. There's no foundation here in America. No type of foundation. And the foundation that is set is wicked. And we live our lives every day in fear of one thing or another. If you ain't scared of bugs, you scared that your light's going to get cut off. Or you scared that if you call out sick one more time, your job might write you up. Or that you ain't changed your oil in a couple of months and you hoping that your engine don't blow up.
Hoping police don't get behind you. You hope you go to the store and they got on the wrong color. Hope your people not tripping because you looked a certain way.
Hope you don't let your family down. You in fear of that. We live a life full of fear.
Yeah. Shots down the street. You hoping the bullets don't come through the wall. It's all type of stuff, man.
Hope your car don't get stolen. We live our lives in fear. And that's what it's like living without our God. Hosea 4:6. He says, you don't want to keep my law, you want to reject me, I'm going to reject your children. Right? So this is what the kingdom is about.
Real quick, it said, I like this definition, an organization or institution established by endowment with provision for future maintenance. We literally are promised to have servants. Everything that you need is already provided for. You're never going to get sick. You're never going to worry about death. You're never going to have a need to care for your own life, because that's what most of the time we're focused on. Where am I going to live? What am I going to eat? How am I going to protect myself? We have all these things to focus on, but immortality erases all of those needs. Then on top of that, if you eat, it's not like we can die from starvation, so we can eat just based off of what we desire. Yep. But then you have servants. I want some wine. I want some this.
At a snap of a finger, a lift of a hand, they doing whatever you want.
Forever. And now the battle is we just got to get there. That's the battle. Now we just have to endure this life, endure the things that we're going through, these trials, these testimonies, these up and downs that we all experience. We have to endure these things to be able to go home. This is the fight.
But my thing is that not worth fighting for?
We
didn't, man.
And it's the season. Everybody, it's people, health being touched and, just different things that we experience. But it's like, you got to keep going. Yeah. And we so close. We know, we see the signs. We see, the things that are happening in the heavens, the unexplainable, right? Yeah. We see these things happen. It's like, oh, we so close. You just got to keep fighting. Had a bad day, you feel like losing your cool, man, walk it off.
Yep, for real.
Don't lose your patience.
Go get a drink. Go get a drink. Go get a drink. Go take a walk.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because this is how you know we close. And it's crazy because we're close but so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. For real, like, look, we pouring water. Like, man, ain't no way this thing ending. Just like we were saying, right?
Everything.
But it's crazy. We close because Esau is scared now. Man. He's alarmed. He can't keep Israelites out of his mouth. So you know what they want to do, right? This is what the devil does. Damn, they're waking up and we can't stop it. Let's stop trying to stop them and let's just paint the narrative and demonize it so people don't support it. They can't stop what's going on. So that's why every time you see a Hebrew Israelite, a black Hebrew Israelite, it's always going to be in a negative light. They tarnish in our image because they can't stop what's already happening. This is a global movement, right? So with all of that, you seen all these chariots popping up, right? It's so many of them that have popped up. It's forced the government, not just here, but all around the world, to basically start declassifying their documents about what they're seeing and the sightings. They said, look, we know for a fact, this is like, let's just say it's China speaking. We know for a fact this is not USA or Russian technology because the USA and Russia are shooting at these things. All the countries' militaries are trying to shoot chariots down, so they know it's not any one of them. You think they're going to sit here and say it's the Most High? Nope. But you know what they did say? Nope, not even aliens. They changed it from, that it's not called UFOs no more. That term's been thrown out the window. Now it's called UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon. They getting the testimonies from pilots and like F-18 Raptors fighter jets, right? These things is flying at like 500 miles an hour. They're chasing these things, and the body can only take so much. The chariots is going like this and going up in straight 90-degree angles at those speeds. They said if a human was doing that, the body would be mush. It can't change of direction that fast. These are things that they're putting out now. The Most High is showing his power. The Most High is already fighting for us. He's definitely worth fighting for. I'd rather fight with them on my team I don't know about you. Hey,
we going home.
give me the upper
We
hand
got
any
it.
day. You telling me that? You telling me they on my squad? For sure.
I seen one that said it was another pilot testimony. They clocked the chariot speed going 9 miles a second. So they're going 500 miles per hour. So
Did y'all hear that?
9 miles a
9
second.
miles per second.
Per second.
We do in our cars miles by the hour.
Yeah.
That's going 9 miles per second. This is what the Most High has in store for us, those who are righteous. But you know what the scary part is? Those same chariots are going to be used to destroy wicked Israelites. If we're not fighting for God, you fighting for Satan. And them chariots is going to be used against us for those who are fighting on the wrong side. We got to get it right, Israel. It's important that we have, lessons and conversations like this because we lose sight of it a lot of times. We fighting on it day to day just to survive. It's hard to think about, fighting to go home when I'm just trying to fight to eat and fight to make sure my bills is paid. For real. I'm being real. We lose sight of it at times. I'm not walking around like I'm perfect. I got my moments where I'll be like, oof, I'm going through a whole lot. And instead of, putting myself in a rut and a stank mood about it, I just got to be grateful for one, that the Most High is still utilizing me. Just got to change the way I think about it. When soldiers is going through what they're going through, they just got to change their mindset. They say, yeah, I know I'm in war. I got dead people. It is what it is. That's what we have to switch our mind state to. It is what it is. Bishop Tazaiwan got a beautiful song. I love the hook. Whether they ride or they vanish, you got to always understand this. I'm going to live by these commandments. It is what it is. Man, that's hard. This is worth fighting for. Home is worth fighting for. Because I know where y'all stay, but I ask you, where's your home? I live in Compton. That's not your home. That's where you live. Your home is Jerusalem, Zion, the land of Israel. Was that all of that in Hebrews?
We have verse 11.
Drop down and read verse 16.
Verse 16. But now they desire a better country.
We've experienced LA, and most people on the face of this earth will say that this is pretty good living over here. But we desire a better place now. I said that in one of my recent songs. I said, California cool, but Jerusalem is the best. We got nice weather here. But it's funny. They said Israel's weather is a lot like what LA's is. We forget that land is cursed now. It's hot as hell over there. It wasn't originally like that. Israel is right off the coast. Yeah. Israel is right off the coast. That's basically LA. You're going to put your feet in the sand at the beach. Right? Palm trees. But it's crazy. Our people relax here as if this is home. This is not home. Not yet. So we desire now a better country. Read.
That is, and heavenly.
Right, because we know that the next place that we're going to get is going to be beautiful. It's going to be heavenly. Our streets is going to be gold. Our people sit here and idolize the wealth of Dubai. And I ain't going to lie. On a carnal tip, they got it going on. They police cars, right? Ours is what? Dodge Chargers, some Fords. They police cars as Lambos out there. They live in large. But guess what? Y'all come to my spot, my city street's going to be gold. Y'all ain't we got way more to brag about. But the problem is we lack that faith because we've been told about it, but because it's not yet here, our people don't believe it. And we're dishonoring our forefathers by doing that because they gave up their life believing in the same thing that they heard thousands of years ago that we heard a couple of years ago. Imagine that. Go ahead.
But now they desire a better country that is, and heavenly. Wherefore God is not ashamed to be called their God.
Look how, oh my goodness. Read that part again.
Wherefore God is not ashamed to be called their God.
Our people feel so ashamed to call the Most High our God. And we show it on so many different levels. When you trim your ways to seek love, you show that you're ashamed to call the Most High your God. The Most High wants to be around and dwell around people that are not ashamed of him. They don't look at what the Most High loves and have an issue with it, right? Proud of the things that the Most High loves, proud of the culture of Israel. They're not ashamed of the culture of Israel. They're not ashamed of our feast days. They're not ashamed at the attire. They're not ashamed that we rock these fringes and men rock their beards. They're not ashamed that we don't partake in folly days and pagan days. A lot of our people are ashamed. You start talking about how the Bible talks about don't keep pagan holidays. The Bible says don't keep Christmas. Our people are ashamed to call themselves Christian in the moments because they make up lies. Ashamed. Most High don't want to dwell around people like that. When we get back home, everybody's going to know exactly what is up. They're going to be completely righteous and love the Most High. Was that all of that?
No. Wherefore God is not ashamed to be called their God, for he hath prepared for them a city.
Prepared for us a city. Now, some people go, okay, it's just a city. This is an exclusive city. Nobody else has access. Because what did the book of Revelation say? It said it had 12 gates. And it said that these gates was tall. Ain't no climbing these gates. And each gate got a name engraved on it for each tribe of the children of Israel. How the heathens going to get up in there? It's going to be a private party, fringes only. Real talk. We have a lot to look. This is the home that we're going back to. For as hard as we're going in this captivity to establish a decent home here, imagine how much more that one is going to be. Because we're not going to put a finger to it to build it. We read about our place being built for us. We ain't, nah. Like some people, they get the Sims game, right? You know, you could decorate your home however you want. You're going to be doing that in real life. I want that one, that one, that one, that one. Put it up there, down there.
I don't like the way that looks. Take that one down.
A big 2-ton sculpture of something. You got like 20 heathen lifting it up or whatever. Matter of fact, I do like it. Put it back. Because we ain't got to hang them and do all that type of stuff, right? We're gonna have fun with them in a righteous way. But you know what the call part is? They're going to be pleased to do it. Yes, sir. My goodness. Let's go to Micah chapter 2 and 10. Somebody may be watching, they be like, man, y'all, you full of it. I think that America's going to be okay. God put us here for a reason, right? Our people get slick. And if you ain't quick with your words, they might catch you up. You be like, got you. Let's read that, Micah 2 and 10.
Arise ye and depart.
The Most High said, arise ye and depart. So that means all of y'all better book y'all flights right after the Sabbath. No. Doesn't mean you physically have to leave. Where are you going to go that the curses ain't going to follow you? Right. The last time I checked, Deuteronomy 28 said these things would pursue us. Mm-hmm. And it was crazy. Brothers actually shared something in our group chat, I believe, earlier this week about the cursed conditions of our people that was living in the Middle East, I believe. Mm-hmm. They're treated just like how we're treated here. They're just not called black. They're not called African American. They're called whatever they are over there. They got their own subgenre, just like how we do here. We niggas over here, right? But go ahead.
Because it is polluted.
So this is not like the Most High, and we have to understand that too. When we're talking to our people, they take our message to be offensive, as if we're not warning you from something that's bad. They act like you're taking away something that's good from them, you know? And it's like, no, you have to actually take a step back and look at what's going on. This place is polluted, and it's destroying our people. You know, only in America is like gender role is a problem. Everywhere else in the world, they understand what a man's supposed to do in a relationship, and they understand what a woman's supposed to do in a relationship. You never hear about no 50. I've never heard any other country talk about 50-50 or no weird stuff like that. I've never even heard about boss B words in other countries. That's only an American problem. That's only an American problem. This place is polluted. And we'll sit here and acknowledge, oh, yeah, it's just the Western way of things. It's the wrong way of things. Right. And it's messing us up. We from the East. Right. We on the West. We from the East, though. Right? So when we're telling people, it's like, look, you have to leave this place mentally and spiritually. You have to detach yourself from the practices of this place and the culture of things here and come back to what our culture is. The fact that that's even a saying, they'll be like, do it for the culture. What the heck does that mean? Right. What is the culture? My women prostituting themselves? They don't even need pimps no more. They do it themselves. Pimps is going broke. Girls is making like $200,000 a month on OnlyFans, showing their bodies, opening their legs to the internet. That's the culture? Men shooting each other dead in the street over beef, popping pills, and y'all know all the other foolishness we do. All of this is what America produces. This is what America has sold to our people. So when we're talking to our people, it's like, look, this is what we want to get you away from, unless you like that stuff and you saying this is cool. Because then we got to have a different conversation. I'm about to rebuke you because you're being evil and stupid. There's no way you can sit here and tell me the life that we live here is the standard that God set up for us in the Bible. And if you'll acknowledge that that's true, then why buck up when the Bible is being brought out and showing you how to do it the right way? It's that simple. But let's read.
Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest.
This is not our rest. We can't be too comfy here. You can relax, but you can't rest like that. But it's funny because today's a rest. All praises, right? All praises for the Most High's rest.
All praises.
And we're going to get that eternal rest soon, but read on.
Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you.
It wasn't a question. It wasn't supposing. It wasn't sketchy. He said this place will destroy you. And just look at our people. We're destroyed. Nobody thinks like how we think. And that's not a bragging right.
Right.
People, when I say people bring their kids from like more affluent neighborhoods to the hood for like field trips and like, that's a real thing. You see them driving down in their Benzes, like, look, Timmy, there's a whore. There's a crackhead. Wow. Those are gangsters. Those are niggers. Like, this ain't it. This ain't it. Let's go to Hebrews. Actually, no, I'm done with Hebrews. Let's go to 2nd Ezra, chapter 9. But it's so crazy, though, and it's beautiful, and it's worth praising the Most High when you really just look at the contrast. Look at how you used to live and think. And then look at how you live and think now. I never thought in a million years I would honestly care about what the Bible was talking about. And now I find myself damn near getting into fights with people trying to get them to do what this Bible is saying. Ain't that something? We got testimonies up in here. Oh my goodness. Can't believe it. I be in awesome times. I be in awesome times. For real? Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. But it's a beautiful calling to know that we really going through and doing the things that Christ did. That's a flex. Ooh, it's like, man, we doing what Christ did. You know, and soon enough, we're going to really start seeing some crazy stuff. Like when brothers going to be blessed with abilities to do some real stuff, like before people's eyes. It's going to be crazy. But let's get that 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and read verse 1.
2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself.
Okay, so look, y'all. Let's have a conversation tonight, right? I feel like it's been like that already. I see y'all every week. Outside of these doors, what does life really look like? Does it look like it's getting better? Does it look like it's about the same? Or is it getting worse? Okay, cool. Let's read on.
And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before.
Where we at right now, y'all? Where we at? In Babylon, a.k.a. Egypt, right? The Most High told us about we was going to be here. How both kingdoms was going to be oppressed together. We've already seen some of the signs pass. Go ahead.
Then then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
I feel like them times is now. The world just got off a lockdown because of a virus. Who created that virus? People on the East, the Most High did that. When the Most High said plagues was going to go out into the world, and it's crazy because we belittle that in our minds. We don't look at it as a plague of the Bible. Why not?
It's put out there. It's conditioning. They be like, oh, it's made in the lab and all these scientists, and then got the Most High be the furthest thing from people's minds.
Yeah. Plandemic. Yeah, it's a
Right.
part of a plan, fool, to get us home. It's all a part of the plan. And here's the thing that's humbling, y'all. I'm telling you, I be tripping. The Most High is only doing this for us. It's not like it's happening just because that's what happens in life. It's only happening because of us. Each day that you wake up keeping God's laws is the more him stirring the pot for you. My goodness.
All praises.
That is so dope. That is so dope. This world literally will burn and turn based off of what we do. We have power. When they were talking about black power, that's limited power. Black power gets you BET and what we have now. But Israelite power, real power, power from the Most High, Yahweh, that's different. But read.
Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world.
Is that not going on right now, y'all? I mean, keep it real. Is this this not going on right now? It's happening. So what does that tell us?
It's here.
Change the battery for me, AV. That tells us that things is heating up. We can't have too many more of the moments where I was being weak. I just need time. I've only been in this thing for this many years. You only got so many but more of them times. At what point are you going to make that decision and be like, you know what? I'm fighting for me and my people to go home. And I'm willing to do everything that it takes to make sure that we get there. America, with its convenience, preaches failure. Because when you like really fighting for something you really, really want, that's a long, hard road. And a lot of people, it's easy to give up. And that's what America teaches our people, to be weak and to give up and try something different. If you didn't get success in that, then try getting success this way and that way. We don't have no other way. This is the only way. You telling me you willing to give up on my people? You basically telling me you hate me to my face. Imagine that. You not willing to fight for your people? We didn't fight for a whole lot less. You not willing to fight for your people to go home. Now, if that fight for your people to go home requires you to change a lot of ways about yourself, are you going to do that or are you going to complain? I mean, we being real, right? YASHAMI had to change. Elder knows I'm not the same Yash from 8 years ago. I still got a long way to go. However, the things that I did change was beneficial for me. At first, I probably had a little problem with it because I'm like, man, I've been comfortable. Like, you telling me I can't do this no more? Like, come on, I can at least do this. No, damn. All right, cool. But when it's your turn to do that, you got to have that same mindset. How you going to sit here and complain about something that's good for you? Only we do that stupid stuff. And it's stupid if I'm being real. People sit here and argue about the law as if it's bad for us. I ain't got to wear no damn fringes. Bro, you telling me it's a bad thing to be reminded of the law? I ain't gotta keep my beard. You want to look like a woman? Like, what's the psyche behind a lot of the stuff that we do? If we know that the law is good for us, and if we know that keeping the law is going to get us home, why are we fighting? Why do we have a struggle? How are we going to be at war and lacking at the same time? We be like one foot in war and the other foot in the world. How does that even work? And that's why we got the results that we have now. I just feel like we should be a whole lot further. Yeah, we should. I just feel like we should be doing this, this, and that. We should. Why aren't you contributing? Why aren't you doing your part? Why are you complaining? What are you doing to change it? That's the problem we have in Israel now. Everybody has an opinion, but nobody wants to follow the code. Nobody wants to follow the law. It's already been figured out for us. And if we're at war, generally that means we have a leader, which would be a general, which we do, which is YASHAMI. If he's already given us directives, what do we look like as soldiers arguing about that? If I said go up the street, make a left, and then wait for 5 hours, why are you considering doing anything different? If the Most High said, keep my Sabbaths, do this, do that, love your brother, love your sister, correct this, correct that, stop doing this, why are you thinking of doing anything but that? That's what it really boils down to. You have to understand the frustration with the Most High. Most of us have kids in here. If you tell your kids something and they disobey you, are you not frustrated? Why do you think the Most High is any different? It's really that simple. But go ahead.
Verse 4, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning.
Go ahead.
For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest.
The end has already manifested itself. According to the Bible, it says that Esau is going to be the end of this world, meaning when the nation of Esau, the so-called white man, when his empire is fully crushed by the Most High and the angels, it said the world that follows that is Israel's. So that means there's no more captivity after this one that we're in right now. And it's crazy because, again, you got some Israelites that will argue you tooth and nail. Esau, no, the white man isn't Esau. So you're telling me we have to go into another captivity after this? Idiot. It's dumb. But go ahead.
Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs.
Go ahead.
And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works.
You're going to be saved by what?
By his works.
But you got some people that tell you works ain't going to save you. The works of the sacrificial law will not save you. Doing the work of building your people up and saving your people out of captivity, that's definitely going to save you. What are you talking about? Go ahead.
And by faith.
And by faith. We got to stop being so faithless, Israel. I can understand Christ's frustration with the people when he would show them signs and miracles and they would still not believe. He said, you faithless generation. Man. Faithless. Like, what if we knew for a fact, we knew somebody in the back was dead right now? For sure, he'd been dead like a couple hours. Cold, not breathing. And the brother was able to walk back there and do something, and they both walking out. Honestly, would you feel like you would have any more reason to not believe in the Most High after that? I disagree. You know why? Because all of us have already seen chariots. And how many times have you already slipped since then? We know the chariots is real. and that's the cold part. You had the disciples, they were saying stuff like that. They saw everything Christ did. And I believe it was Thomas. After Christ died, he showed himself to the disciples a few more times. He wasn't there the first time. They went and told him, and he said, I don't believe y'all. Unless I can put my finger in his hole and see it for myself. And Christ had to come and show him, like, here. Go ahead, put your finger in there. Now you believe? Go and do the work. We all know it's work to be done. Stop complaining. If you get confused, if you get tired, cool. Get back to work. Don't think too much. Just get back to work. Keep your head down, and when you look up, you'll be at the finish line. Simple. But read on.
And by faith, whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land, and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning.
A point I want to touch on this is sometimes we have to focus more on what the Most High does for us. The reason why I said that is that it says that we would be saved from the perils that was to hit this earth. A lot of us belittle the Most High allowing us to live through COVID. You know how many people died from that? The fact that you didn't is a testimony. You can say the Most High kept me from that plague. Don't belittle that. Don't even belittle that. That's real. You know how many families lost people due to COVID? Look, hands is being raised in this room. Man, brother said there's something else going on. He just lost a friend. These are testimonies. Well, how do you know God is real, bro? God kept me from COVID. I don't know about you. You lost somebody. None of my family died. And we don't have to be ashamed about it. Say it with your chest out. That's gonna cause other people to believe. Imagine you sitting here. That's like a salesman. If they seem unsure in the product, are you gonna buy it? No. So if you shaky in your approach talking to somebody about the truth, you feel like they gonna buy that? The Bible says a wise person wins souls. Real talk. It says that in the book of Proverbs. You got to make this truth attractive. Don't be ashamed of your friends. Just show them. People see that as a conversation starter. Even if they don't say nothing to you, say something to them. Tap them. Hey. You ever seen these?
Right.
I so haven't. What is that? Let me tell you. Easy. Don't be ashamed. But we just be in the store, anti-social is all, not trying to talk to nobody. Do we really understand the mission? That's something I work on. I find myself in certain spots where it's like, I probably could be in here talking to people, you know. I'd rather just chill, though. But I try to make it happen now to keep some literature on me so I can just boom, 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 serve people. It's not always about us. I know you already had a long day, but there's 5 people in this room who ain't never heard about the Hebrew Israelites. Talk to your people. Or you ain't got time for God. Which one? I'm just saying, but go ahead.
Verse 9, then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways.
And it's so cold because the Most High is talking to Israel. None of us are exempt from what's being said right now. A lot of us going to find ourselves in a pitiful case if we don't humble down and keep the Most High's laws. Go ahead.
And they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torment.
Go ahead.
For such as in their life have received benefits.
How many of y'all have been blessed in your life? I know for sure I've been blessed. Man, too many times over. And if you have a real humble moment of just thinking about your blessings, you might cry. For sure. My wife was having a hard time. I believe it. Yeah. Con. And it's all due to the Most High and His mercy. Ain't that something? My goodness.
Praises. All praises.
All praises. But it's crazy though, because I was telling my wife like why exactly I was crying. It's just me being real, right? Why I was crying when my daughter was born. Like whole pregnancy, I was cool. I didn't cry not once. In the delivery room, and as soon as she popped out, boom, I couldn't even help it. Happened, right? Reason why is because internally, I had an internal thought. Don't know why. I just had this thought that I had been living so wicked that God would never bless me with kids. I kid you not. Just realizing all the sin I did back in the world, coming into this truth, I was just like, damn, like why would the Most High bless me with kids? Got a real guilty conscience. I'd be anything. Oh, Most High judging me. Most High testing me right off the rip. So the Most High been gracious to us for real, because we all should be dead. All of us should be dead. Yep. And that's the thing that I've been trying to perfect in my walk and really share with others is the humility aspect. Everybody who was perfect, they weren't real, like they were saucy individuals, don't get me wrong, but they wasn't like boastful, like weird type individuals. They were humble people. You love to be around them. And America teaches pride. And our people fully bought that. We be so prideful, and the Most High does not like that. When you're not being when you're being prideful, you're not allowing the Most High to use you. You have to be humble for somebody to take you and do what they want with you. Right? You have to be willing. When you're prideful, you're not in that state. The Most High, it's hard for him to work with you in that state. So the more we start to humble down and really figure out what this walk is about, we're going to start seeing a whole lot more results. And the whole thing we got to realize, even though it's a lot of Israel waking up, they're still being accounted for in the 2/3 that's spoken about. Like, we be looking for 100 million people need to wake up before things happen. No. We don't know how many Israelites need to wake up before it's time to go home. We just want to make sure that we're caught up in that number. You feel me? For real. It ain't got to be the whole world is woken up. It could be, if I had to guess right now, I'd probably say how many Israelites would y'all say do y'all think right now is awakened on the earth? You think millions? Millions is a lot. IUIC is a huge organization, and I don't even think they're nowhere close to 1 million.
I've seen like early years in the truth. I've seen a video of a jungle. I mean, literally everything is a jungle, and literally in the center of what looks like a jungle, there was like some flat ground and kind of like was that canopy?
Yeah.
And under it, it was a bunch of people with white garments or fringes on, and they were singing in a language I don't know. So, considering like we see the platforms and go live and all that kind of stuff, it's people in the jungle right now keeping commandments.
They about to keep dedication with us in the jungle, though.
Ain't no telling how many it is, but we really don't know. It could be millions, it could be 100,000s, it could be tens of thousands.
Yeah, if I had to guess, I'd probably say it's a couple 100,000, if not close to 1 million. Man, it's happening. That's the whole thing. It's happening. And the whole thing is it's 6 billion plus people. We don't need that many Israelites to be woke up before this thing crashes. It's not what the Most High is looking for. A lot of that number, more than likely, has already been taken account of in the times past. This earth been here for thousands of years. Most High been getting people's tickets all throughout that time. I'm trying to make sure I'm in that line. That's all I'm saying. I want to be on that train, right? But let's go ahead.
Verse 10, for such as in their life have received benefits and have not known
Now
me.
look at that. Everybody will understand why the Most High's final judgment is that lake of fire. He said, dude, I've been blessing you this whole time. You didn't even regard me. You haven't even known me. And that's why the Most High, no one can sit here and say the Most High wasn't just. Well, I didn't know. It's not my fault. I've been blessing you your whole life. You never went looking either. Nobody's going to have an excuse. Even for those who despise the Most High. Look how good Esau lived it up.
My thing is, you have to know what something is to despise it. So I don't think
that's true.
We're at a place where someone's going to be like, I had no idea. When you was walking, it'd be so many people, we hand out literature, right? You're trying to, it say know the truth. Now it says, we know the truth. Brother, can I hear you? No, I'm good. Like, you don't even know what it is. Yeah.
We know the truth.
Like, you don't even know what it is yet. No, I'm good. They don't want to hear.
Tell them what you was telling me about the whore.
Oh, man.
I mean, that's what she is.
It
sound bad, huh?
Yeah, nah.
It should.
This past Sabbath, we went to Fig, right? Notorious Holstrow. While we was leaving, it was a sister when we was coming out who was kind of afar off. So I was like, hey, sis, come check out this literature. She was like, nah, I'm good. I said, you don't even know what it is yet. She's like, I'm good. I said, what if it was about some money? You know, because some people, they don't be listening. I'm like, you don't know what I got. She was like, she said, I already know what I'm doing is wrong. I'm a grown woman. I said, I can't remember what I said after that because I was kind of mind blown.
Hey, he did like that, too.
I wasn't expecting that. I was like, all right. I said, man, all right, well, then come take this literature. Come get with us. And she was like, it's good. It was women in the Bible who sold themselves.
Oh,
yeah.
And she didn't even say that. She said it was women in the Bible who sold their cat.
Yeah. She kept it explicit, but I was like, man.
But like you said, you have to know it to despise it. She knows and she despises it.
Oh, and that was the kicker. At the end, she ended up saying that she already had a piece of literature that she had folded and like put in some bushes. And as we drove off, she ended up. She was like, I already got one. She folded it in half and pretty much left it there. He was like, man.
Spirits be out. But again, you have to understand the frustration level of the Most High. And he's like, man, I've been nothing but good to you. She's still waking up every single day, living her life, full of life.
All the things that she's doing, you're not immediately dying. You're supposed to get put to death for your first time committing adultery. She doing that on the hour, probably however often,
They repeat offenders.
You still get to live. Might live another 30 years having a chance to repent.
They going on sinning sprees, y'all. Our people going on sinning sprees. They getting ready to celebrate a pagan holiday on a Sabbath. Is it on a Sabbath? Well, let's just say it was. They celebrating pagan holidays on a Sabbath, cooking unclean food. Oh, my goodness. The list goes on and on.
breaking Sabbaths. How many people tonight is going out? That club is packed. The weed shop packed. People going to commit adultery. You buy a drink tonight, just thinking you chilling or whatever the case may be, you're worthy of death. And the fact that people don't know, and then those that know don't care, and it's not hard. One day a week, you can't do anything. You literally have to rest. And my thing is, as much as we complain about all the things that we go through, I got to do this, I got to do that. Set yourself up Friday afternoon. Set yourself up. You literally get to chill. The only stipulation is you have to chill.
Look how evil that is. We would rather be busy instead of relaxed.
Man.
Just to spite the Most High. We go out of our way to be evil. He literally said you could just be in the house doing nothing. And we said, no, I'm going to be busy. Who does that? You know what? You got a day you can relax. You can kick your feet up and not worry about nothing. Nope, I'm going to be busy.
I'm going out.
I'm about to go sweat. My goodness. Only Israel, man. Only Israel. Yes, sir. Yeah. Con. Yep. Yep. Yeah. For sure. But that's how good the devil is. Yeah. Yep. Of course. And that's why it's already written. We already know how it's going to go down. But the crazy part is exactly what you're talking about is what I've been meditating on recently. And it's crazy because you notice they never poke fun at any other religion's gods. They don't mess with Allah. Or maybe comedy does, right? They mess with Allah just a little bit. But Buddha, they don't mess with Buddha. They don't mess with Krishna, Vishnu, all them weird gods. They cool. Why they always got to poke fun at Christ? Because they know that's the only power on this earth. So that they validate their pagan foolishness by adding somewhat of a real power to it. They said, oh, this is about Jesus. You know, our people is drawn to it. That's why the book of Romans says that our people have a zeal for God, but just not according to knowledge. If Christmas was in the Bible, well, shoot, I don't know. We probably wouldn't celebrate it. But the thing is, our people naturally do want to do the things of God, but the devil has masked the lies so good. Our people prefer that instead of the truth. Yeah, and and so how cold it is. Our people, because there's no direct scripture that says, "Thou shalt not celebrate Christmas." And the ones that you use to edify the people on why they shouldn't be celebrating Christmas, they'll say, "But it don't say nothing about no Christmas." It is, but they'll say it don't say Christmas. Because we know it comes from Saturnalia, the pagan holiday. That's what it is. That's what it is. Tell the truth and shame the devil. We kidding. Right. He said amen.
Hey, the time is coming because
it is, though.
Christ said, well, the scriptures
We
say,
don't have the
he
power to
said,
do
I'm going to
nothing.
make you fishers of men. And then he said, I'm going to make you hunters of men. So right now, everyone has their chance. Everybody, all these people that we sitting up here are pleading with them. And that's the thing. Like, a lot of people, they, and then some Jays, they kind of use the street teaching for sport kind of thing. Try to catch people. Yeah. Like, tell them, man, you still have value. You still have worth. Because eventually, we're not coming with peace. Yeah. Eventually, it's, hey, look, I see you weekend after weekend, time after time. You done heard so much of the word. You done been edified. It's not about ignorance. That's the thing. Our people have so much mercy because there was such a huge wave of ignorance, right? We wasn't allowed to read. We wasn't allowed to write. There was so much of a limitation. Now it's not about ignorance. People know we're Israel. How many times when you pass somebody literature, know the truth, I already know I'm Israel.
Shalom. Shalom.
Right. You're like, you out on a Sabbath, blunt in your hair. I know I'm Israel. I'm about to go over here into the shop real quick.
About to get my rest on.
Right.
But it's crazy. We got some of the people on Slauson and Western. They be in those little phone booths. They've been there so long. Certain scoffers start coming up. They already been edified, so they start arguing with the scoffers like, no, what they saying true.
Right.
That is the Sabbath day. They over there fighting for us, and we just watching it unfold like, all right. But go ahead and repent, brother. You know,
Man.
I don't know about all of that.
They be
But
like, for sure, man.
I like what y'all young brothers doing, though.
Right.
Well, you must not like it enough because you're not doing it with me.
Man.
What does that even mean? For real.
Let me read this.
Come on, go ahead.
Verse 11, and they that have loathed my law, while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. The same must know it after death by pain.
I wanna, and this is just an example because what I'm trying to touch on is the overall spirit and the overall mind state. So don't be offended, sisters. This is the definition of loathe. It says to dislike greatly and often with disgust or intolerance, detest. The Bible says, for those who loathed my law. How many sisters loathe polygyny? And I'm just taking it to an extreme. I'm not saying you're going to go to hell because you don't agree with polygyny. What I'm saying is the Most High has a problem with those who disagree with the things that he's already said are set in stone. And again, dealing with the overall spirit. How are you a follower of Christ, a follower and a child of God if you disagree? And it's not even about the disagreeing. It's about the disgust that's under the Never. Whoa. That's not needed.
I won't.
There's when the sisters speak like that concerning polygyny, you show that you have low-level understanding and that you really don't truly care about building and you don't care about sisterhood as much as you may preach it. I'm not sitting here forcing, that's just real. I'm not forcing polygyny on sisters like, oh, you have to be a sister wife. But love your culture. Don't look at your foremothers in disgust.
Right.
You telling me you feel like you're above your foremothers?
Right.
You feel me? Like that's all it boils down to. And sisters miss the mark every single time. So you telling me I'm just have to? No, but I'm saying love who you are. Stop being ashamed of God.
And one thing, because one thing I feel like is commonly overlooked with sisters and with polygyny, there's such a thing called the duty to a brother's wife, right? So if a man is in Israel and he dies, if he had a wife but they did not have a child and he dies before she's able to bear him a seed, she has to go and marry his next of kin, his next of male kin.
You know they have a problem with it off the rip.
But my thing is, when you sitting up here saying, I won't do polygyny, I refuse, and all this other kind of stuff, your husband died. Is his name important enough for you to sacrifice to keep it in Israel? Exactly. You have testimonies and stories.
You telling the truth, though?
Yeah. So it's like that. It's very much a possibility and very much a reality. But when you're saying I won't do it, you're also not only because the sisters like to go, oh, he's lustful, he's this, he's that. Okay, but what if it pertains to the law? Then are you gonna do it, or do you still despise it? Is it still so terrible and all these different issues you have, and like you never know what predicament. And then it's crazy how we sit up here and declare all this control of our lives that we don't have. Yep. I won't do that. And what if you're called to?
Exactly.
Now, are you going to be wicked, or are you going to sit up here and eat your words and be like, okay, let me humble down and realize that I spoke as a fool. I spoke presumptuously. Yep. This is what the Most High called me to do.
Yep. It's some things you're going to say and it's some things you're going to do.
Exactly.
And they don't always match up. That's why we got to be humble again. Like when you start speaking like that, even us having the conversation about, because I'm not pointing anybody out, we're talking about the overall spirit and the mindset. Us talking about that mindset, it feels uncomfortable. How much more do you think the Most High is looking at that type of spirit? Like, how can I work with that? Talking about what you can't and won't. How can the Most High work with something like that? And that goes for men as well, because you got a lot of brothers who won't step up and do the right thing. I won't do that, can't, nope. You think the Most High is willing to deal with somebody like that? Or would the Most High being more inclined to be like, man, you know what? I realize I got some things I need to fix within myself. I may not be fully comfortable. Let me go ahead and do it. That's way more room for work. Someone who's willing, the Bible talks about a willing mind. And, you know, it's no secret, man. The Bible talks about the modern woman. The Bible talks about the new age Israelite women. It's work that needs to be done with the sisters. And that's why I applaud sisters at True Nation for how far and how dope they have been as far as establishing a sisterhood, you know? That's how we're gonna get success. We didn't have a sisterhood like we had now, you know, so many years back then. This is gonna breed success. Y'all keeping each other in check and all of that. Because the brothers, we've been practicing that, but it has to be reciprocated on both sides. And here's the beautiful part about it. The kids is gonna see it happening amongst us, and they're gonna practice it amongst themselves. We got a successful cycle instead of what we're being practicing now, which is jealousy and envy and variance and hatred, not even willing to correct your sister or not even willing to correct your brother. That's hatred. That means you're okay with chaos being in the community. When you're not willing to correct nonsense, that means you're okay with it and that you prefer it. Yeah. They despise it. Con. Oh yeah. Con. Con. A pack of 100 kids could populate upwards to like 1,000. I like the analogy though, but that's real. We could populate cities with just 100 kids. But now here's the thing, because we've done that time and time again, and look at our cities. We want to make sure that we're bringing up righteous kids. There's no way we're going to have righteous kids if the parents is messed up. There has to be a standard of righteousness somewhere. There has to be. If you're not willing to be righteous for yourself, at least do it for your kids. Or do you hate them that much? That's what it is at the end of the day. If you're not willing to do something that's righteous on behalf of your kids, it means you hate them. And you might as well just be real with yourself and say it. A lot of us mask in love with some weird butterfly type feelings. And when deep down you know you despise certain things. But people got to be, and that's what I love about the Bible, because it talks about it in Hebrews, I believe, where it talks about it's a discerner of the thoughts. You really have conversations with people, and you'll see all of what they're about. And the Bible talks about discerning. You got to know how to start discerning spirits. You can be like, damn, yeah, you really hate yourself, or you really hate your people. You know how to draw that line in the sand. And that's what the Most High is telling us to do, because this is a wicked world that we live in. You can't play nice with Satan. I heard Bishop Izar say that maybe a year ago. And that just sticks with me every time. I'm like, dang, you really can't. And a lot of times we be faced with situations of wickedness, and instead of being like gung-ho, full, 100% godly, you be trying to like be nice with it. How you gonna play nice with Satan? Like you like, you know what I'm talking about? It's hard to pinpoint a scenario, but like where we gotta draw that clear line, like, nah, I don't mess with that, and you wicked. It's gotta come to that, because that's what the righteous people that we read about in the Bible were doing, and we're willing to do. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Let's move on. Let's go to 2nd Ezra, chapter 8 and verse 48.
2nd Ezra 8:48. And this also thou art marvelous before the Most High.
Now check this out, y'all.
In that,
Wait. I want that to marinate. The Most High, through an angel, is about to tell Ezra why he's marvelous in the sight of God. Read on.
in that thou hast humbled thyself.
He humbled himself. Why is it so hard for American Israelites to humble ourselves? If you know the truth, is there an excuse for brainwashing? So are they even in the truth at that point? Huh. I agree. I'm saying as far as like Israelites who, because we all know better up in here. And for us to still have those moments where we're doing adversely, how can we have an excuse of us being brainwashed? Because a lot of people use that. Well, you know, I didn't live this many years. Yeah, but you also know that it's wrong. You ain't picking up no crack pipe because you know that's wrong. So you choosing to do this. We got to be real with ourselves. We all make choices. There's certain sins some of us is not willing to do, but certain sins some of us is willing to do. Especially if you got the mind state of, well, it ain't no sin worthy of death. I'm just being real. But going back to our people, humbling ourselves. It's so hard for us to be humbled when the whole time that's what the Most High is looking for. He didn't say, Ezra, I think you the bomb in my eyes because you got $100 million in the bank. He said, I don't think you dope because you got this car and you driving this and you got this many women. Or he said, you humble and you're marvelous in my eyes. That's something to marvel at because look at how many people are prideful on this earth. You really want to make a statement and stand out? Be humble. You'll have a whole different aura on you. Yes, sir. They do. But this is, and you're exactly right. The brother said people mistake being humble with being weak. But here's the thing. Through humility, Elijah was able to rain down fire from heaven. So how is being humble being weak? Our people don't understand the reason why we're being humble. We have a power source. And when we're humble, the Most High is able to flex us up. You feel me? It's like a hidden ability we got. And it's crazy because we've all experienced it in one way or another, especially those who have played sports. Y'all ever like been in the zone? Everything was going your way. You couldn't miss. Everything was on point. That'd be us tapped into that spirit. And anybody who's in like any type of field of like being artistic or, you know, an athlete, we all have those zones. Like you can see it like when bands play, when they all in unison and they just in the zone, eyes closed, they go to that place. When we was going to war as a nation of people and there was only 300 of us and thousands of we was in that zone. So we all tap into that every now and then. But the thing is, we have to be humble. When you let yourself over to that sport or you let yourself over into that instrument, you're humbling yourself and you being able to be used. That's what it is. We have to humble ourselves so that the Most High could use us. But go ahead.
And this also thou art marvelous before the Most High, in that thou hast humbled thyself as it becometh thee, and hast not judged thyself worthy to be much glorified among the righteous.
We accomplished a few things in life and we felt like we worthy of something. Keep it real. I mean, and it's cool. It's cool to have that support system. It's dope to accomplish things in life. But it's, again, looking long-term, looking down the field. What we really want to accomplish is righteousness. So, yeah, when you got your friends and y'all supporting y'all doing dope stuff, yeah, keep each other motivated. But the thing is, we could do all of that, but in a state of humility. We don't walk around as if we're somebody and y'all beneath us and all of that. We don't treat our brothers and sisters in the world who are without as if they're peons or something. Right? We're humble. But go ahead, and that's exactly how Ezra carried himself. Go ahead.
For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world.
Do y'all not believe that that's going to happen? Because I do. We just witnessed, what was that event that happened in, I believe, South Korea on Halloween? Yeah, that's a great misery. Imagine 150 people died in front of your face. That's like True Nation pack, and everybody just, whoa, you'd be taken back. It's already happening. How much more when we're going to have thousands dying because earthquakes and split open manholes, and like, come on. But read on.
Because they have walked in great pride.
We have to check the pride. We have to check the pride. You can't be in a war fighting for your homeland and being prideful. Those two spirits don't go together.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong in having a righteous pride, but we have unrighteous pride a lot of times. The not being able to be corrected type of pride. If your brother or your sister can't correct you, how is God going to correct you? Let's be real. If I can't correct you and if you can't correct me, I can see you and touch you. I can't do that with God. How is he going to correct me? But yet we have such a problem with that within Israel, not even knowing. If you're able to allow flesh and blood to correct you, the spirit is easy. Right. You can't even defeat the flesh, though. And that's why it's so important that we got to start fasting more. Myself included. I'm trying to make it to where I'm not only fasting on Day of Atonement like I know a lot of Israel does. Make sure I'm getting my quarterly fast or, a semi-annual fast, whatever. Like, just, man, but upping the fast amount. We got to kill this flesh. When you focused on some real carnal stuff, and that's why you just got to listen to the conversation. Brothers, we got times when we joke off and we goof off. That's not a problem because you know what we talking about right after that? Building. Talking about the kingdom. Got so many days where I've been in the back of Kahan's house just drinking good tequila for hours, talking about the kingdom, talking about what life is going to be like on the other side of this. That's what we should be aspiring to get to. And the righteous figures of this Bible is who we should be aspiring to be. But go ahead.
But understand thou for thyself.
This is something we have to understand amongst ourselves. I'm not talking to the whole world. Well, I am because of the internet. But before me, you feel me? This is like a secret. It's the world's best kept secret. Y'all remember how y'all felt when y'all found out and really understood that y'all was Hebrews? That was a hell of a feeling. And it's crazy because for me, it only took like 3 YouTube videos for me to be convinced. I was convicted. But after I heard that God hated white people, I said, you know what, this might be the thing for me. I could get down with a God like that. When I was in that Christian church and he talking about God loves everybody, I'm like, there ain't no way. There ain't no way. Boy, ain't no way. But that feeling is what we got to carry throughout this whole walk. You can't get to the point where now you regret being a Hebrew. Right. I'm serious. Man, my life was just so much easier. Like, well, if I wasn't here, I wouldn't have to deal with it. But you are, so deal with it. That part. And that's something I wanted to talk about later down in this lesson. I can't believe the time is going by as fast as it is, but doing what we're doing and knowing that there's purpose behind it. When I come through these doors, I come here with a purpose. Like, I'm not just, sometimes I'm here to kick it, but that's because this is home. It's like a second home, right? It should be that way. This is family. But I'm not doing this without a purpose. I'm not up here just because I think it's cool. Just because I want to be on YouTube. I'm not doing it because of that. I remember earlier on in old POP days, remember we used to talk about, like, us and Zion, like, man, like, we ain't even got to record us going street teaching today. We don't want no vainglory. We didn't care about that. Still ended up going viral. Right. Yeah.
Little clips and stuff that we didn't even, like, really intend to be out. And still.
You know how many people seen that video of me getting kicked out the church? And I didn't forgot about that. I didn't forgot about it. Hundreds of thousands. People be like, and it's dope because I've been in this truth for a short amount of time, right? Couple years. But I be seeing people. I hit them up. We have small conversations because I just be talking to Jakes. And they'll be like, hey, you the dude from the vid? Man, that's the one I seen when I was coming into the truth. I'm like, damn, all praises. That's dope. But some people, they get a couple views and they go to their head and they start acting different. That's what we're supposed to, like, we should want the world to see this truth. That shouldn't change us and what we're doing. That should inspire you to be more like that and just get better at it. So understand that we're doing this with a purpose. We're not to magnify ourselves. And the thing is, even if you do magnify yourself, we do it in a way to where it's giving glory to the Most High. Because all of what we are is because of him. Real talk. Real talk. But let's read on.
Verse 51, but understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee.
Did y'all hear that? Read that last part again.
And seek out the glory for such as be like thee.
We shouldn't be looking to be more like people in the world. There's nothing wrong with getting people out of the world into this truth. I do understand that aspect now, right? We have to create relationships and meet people. You have to talk. When you light a candle, do you light it to put it under your bed, or do you put it on a cabinet or something so that everything can be illuminated? Mm-hmm. So we want to be out here showing our people where the light is. We want to show them the truth. However, we can't. Read that last part again.
But understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as.
We should be looking for more people that are focused on the kingdom. When you, and I know people have growing periods. You shouldn't be this many years into the truth and really saying and depending on your best friends in the world. They're going to let you down every time. I don't have not one best friend in the world. I got some real dope family members and stuff, but like to say like I trust my heart and soul to, you're not keeping these laws. But for my brothers that go twain with me, ones that done bled for me, shed some tears for me, then spread they bread with me, like, yeah, okay, cool, real talk. Because Christ said this is the real family. And I can only imagine how impactful that statement was for him to be talking in front of that many people and his actual mother and brothers to be there. And he said, who is my family? I know people had to be taken back like, whoa. But it made all the sense. He looked around about. He said, you see these brothers doing these works? You see these sisters doing these works? These are the only ones I care about. You can't find yourself too invested into this world and not giving to those who are like-minded. These are the ones you should be building and doing everything with. Go ahead.
Verse 52, for unto you is paradise open. The tree of life is planted. The time to come is prepared.
So the Most High is letting us know. Look, the Most High is seeing things way different from how we seeing it, right? And it was crazy because we started talking about this, me and Kabash. We have like real good theory talks. And I looked up the definition of idea. I'm like, what the hell is an idea? Like, we say certain words, but it's like, what does it really mean? And one of the definitions was a standard of perfection, right? Yeah, and it's crazy because guess what? Everything that you have in your head is perfect, and you try to make that thing be in real life. You try to make it how you saw it in your head. So look how glorious the Most High is when he's building stuff and his ideas. They go thousands of years down the road. He's letting you know, already got your kingdom shaped out for you, and it's perfect. It's perfect. You're going to love it. I've already opened up paradise into you. Just stay on the straight and narrow. That's basically what he's saying. Look, you already got the kingdom. You already got the kingdom. Just stay doing what's right. Go ahead.
The time to come is prepared. Plenteousness is made ready.
Plenteousness. You know how many times we didn't went without?
Man.
Times you didn't open that fridge hoping something was going to pop up?
New food spawn.
Man. Knowing ain't nothing up in there, but you up in there looking like, man, nothing again? All right, close it. They said it's going to be plenty when we get to the kingdom. You don't have to worry about nothing. Whatever you want, you can indulge in righteously. And he said there's plenty. Plenty. My goodness. Shalom, Mark. Shalom. But go ahead.
A city is builded and rest is allowed.
There ain't no rest allowed here in Babylon. The little bit of rest we do get, the work outweighs the memory of the rest. I had a great time at Tabernacles, but that's not on my mind every single day. I'm thinking about work. And we was resting out there. But look how gracious the Most High is. He said, look, I had you set for Tabernacles. Just wait a couple more moons. Got you set for dedication. 8 more days. Relax in captivity. I know it's tough. I know it's hard. Relax a little bit. Get back to the mission. Go ahead.
Yea, perfect goodness and wisdom.
Perfect goodness. Imagine if everything you ever liked and loved you had readily available at all times. And it was in abundance. Man. Whatever. And like he said, in the kingdom, everything is regulated. We're going to have new bodies. If you love pizza, you can eat 1,000 slices if you want to. You ain't going to never be bloated. You ain't gonna never get the itis. It's gonna digest perfect. Everything is perfect. For the fruitarians and the vegans, you're gonna have every green herb in abundance. Fruits the most. You could probably create fruits in the kingdom. You're gonna be a god. It said the other nations is gonna idolize you and worship you as we worship our Father. Ain't that something? Oh my goodness. You should see the way people act when certain celebrities come to their town. They get the motorcades. Right. That's nothing. We're going to have people bow down in the streets to us when we walk through. And they're going to be like, those are our gods. And we follow them as they follow Christ. Oh my goodness. Y'all ready for that? I'm ready for that shit. I don't know about y'all. Man, this life here sucks. Man. This is whack. And the little bit of good things that we do have is like tainted, like the food. Like, food is not dependable, right? It could be bomb one day and the next time trash. Like, it's no consistency in this life. The kingdom, everything is going to be constant and consistent. Perfect every single time. Like, oh my goodness. Let's read on.
Verse 53, the root of evil is sealed up from you.
Imagine that. You will never have a bad day again. Because a lot of people look at evil like they probably going to screenshot that. See, True Nation, Illuminati. They're Freemasons. But people think evil is only that. No, according to the Bible and just definitions, evil is any bad thing that happens to you. Like a curse. They think a curse is like, oh, I got this little doll, I'm going to poke his belly. But that's not all curses are. Curse is just any bad predicament that happens to somebody. So this life is full of evil. Bad days is an evil thing. Right. That's not a righteous or a good thing.
Even like being fearful. I don't think it's crazy because like those conversations, I think we asked if you had the chance to be immortal or the superpower or something like that, which one would it be? I was like, immortality. They was like, for real, but everything you know and this and that. And I was like, look, imagine you can walk at the bottom of an ocean and you don't fear drowning. What would be the fear of a storm? You out there on the storm, the boat falling apart. You like, oh, guess I'm seeing what's that. I wonder what's down there. You know, I'm going. And what's the fear of the dark? Because there's nothing that can harm you. So you walking at the bottom of an ocean in pitch black, and then when you just keep walking until to the other side. You get to you start seeing some light. You walk on the shore. Man, that was crazy. Man, where you been at, Doc? Man, I just walked this ocean. Right. Just walked this ocean, man. It was pretty interesting. I seen some stuff you ain't never seen. We should go. Next time you get a chance, this next Sabbath that's coming, hey, let's walk at the bottom of the ocean, and you got to go see the stuff that I was seeing. All right, what would be the fear? Yeah. What would be the problem? All these things that we experience. You want to go climb a mountain? No anxiety. If I fall off, I'm immortal.
Exactly. That's a good perspective to look at because we don't look at it that way. Like, we think of we're going to live forever. That means nothing can kill you.
Nothing can hurt you. You're not worried about your next meal, stressed out. You can't starve to death, can't thirst to death.
You can fast for 1,000 years if you want to.
All these things that we'll be able to do. And it's like...
Oh, no, you can't because we got feast days. We still going to be doing
I mean, probably... Yeah. We'll have no...
You get the point, though.
Right, we'll have no reason to fast, though.
Right, we're going to be perfect.
You have no reason.
My goodness.
What?
This is what I want to get to, though. Like, conversations like this is what, like, really puts, like, a battery in me. Like, man, let's get this kingdom, dog. Like, because people be so motivated to go get some money. And, like, I get it. You need money here in this life, but... Get money with a purpose. As far as me, what I'm trying to get money and riches for is so I can provide for my people. Like, it'd be dope to know, like, brother came out here, like, I wish I had just hella properties. Like, hey, go stay at my duplex over there, bro. Right. Like, I already got space for you and your family. Like, people coming into the truth, man, I ain't got nowhere to live. Man, I live rent-free for however long you need to get on your feet. Right. Property's already paid off. Like, we want to acquire riches with purpose. People here just want to get a bunch of Lamborghinis and Birkin bags and
be the only one on an island by yourself.
Exactly. Like, that stuff is going to corrupt with, you know, moth and worm. So is everything else. But, dude, at least you had something that had purpose. You know, if you getting stuff to flex on your brother and sister who's without, that's bummy activity.
And it's crazy because people separate themselves. They want to be by themselves, but then they got to constantly prove how great of a time they're having to everybody that they just spent all that money getting away from.
That's a very sick cycle when you think about it. Mentally, like the mentality behind that, that's disturbing. My goodness. Read on.
verse 53, the root of evil is sealed up from you. Weakness and the moth is hid from you.
It says weakness. How many times we done found ourselves being weak and wanted to cry, and none of that will be present.
Ailments, right?
It will never be present. But my thing is, because the physical will get you far, but the mental gets you so much further, and that's where we're crippling ourselves at the most. It's like we're almost scared to expand our minds these days. People just want to stay in this one little thought bubble. And it's like, dude, it's crushing you. Like, you're scared to believe in yourself. You scared to believe in your God.
Man.
Well, all I've known was me for so long. Dude, get over yourself. That's a very weak mind state you have. You're not willing, or you're not able to change. You just want to live this whole life being the same old person, never doing nothing. Like, come on, man. That's not what life is about. God said he gave us life to be in abundance. This mind is powerful. And that's why the Bible says, be renewed in the spirit of your mind. How you could do all things through Christ who strengthens you, but you always talking about you can't and you can't and you won't and you won't. Like, it don't make no sense.
Right.
But read on.
Weakness and the moth is hid from you, and corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten.
Go ahead.
Sorrows are past, and in the end it showed the treasure of immortality.
The treasure of immortality. We don't even know what that is yet. What do you think people who live forever have pride and joy in?
Immortality.
Here as mere mortals, we have a good time going on vacation for a couple of weeks. But what if you live forever and you live in paradise forever? What do you find fun at that point? That's a whole different treasure that we've yet to experience and find out. No one can detail that for you.
Right.
We can't even think about the kingdom the right way because this mind that we have is going to die one day. The kingdom will never go away. We can't even think as someone who lives forever because we don't. My goodness. Go ahead.
Verse 55, and therefore ask thou no more questions concerning the multitude of them that perish.
Because sometimes we're way too focused on nonsense. Everybody in this room already knows if you're not keeping commandments when Yahushua come back, you're toast. Why do we give so much of our power and time to those individuals? Stop asking questions. Stop being invested. Stop worrying about those who are without and they on a path to destruction. Go ahead.
For when they had taken liberty, they despised the Most High, thought scorn of his law, and forsook his ways.
You just want to make, like, at that point, it kind of becomes like, why do you marvel so much like them? Do you envy that?
Right.
Do you wish to live and do the things that they live and do? Because it sure don't look like you despise it. And it said that these individuals despise the Most High. Me personally, these days I'm starting to get offended by sinners, especially when you make excuse for it. It's offensive because it breeds chaos. And it's like, okay, like it sucks to have somebody in the midst when you know they on BS. It's like, okay, you know, like, what's up? For real. Go ahead.
Thought scorn of his law and forsook his ways. Moreover, they have trodden down his.
And then you look at what they do towards us who are actually trying to live righteous. They tread us down, railing on us. I didn't see as much concern or complaint about what Jeffrey Epstein was doing on his island compared to what Kanye said in a tweet. The whole world was in an outrage about what Kanye said. And you had select individuals who was upset at Jeffrey Epstein, but they just said, yeah, that's what them old dirty white men do anyways.
Right.
And then recently, there was an article that was shared that says the Biden administration is setting out a task force basically to be on the anti-Semitism tip. They're going to start persecuting those who are anti-Semitic. Is the stage not already set? Are we not just following a script? You sitting here tripping off of some nonsense in your household, husband and wife still disagreeing. The whole time your enemy is getting prepared to come knocking on doors looking who's still keeping the Sabbath and to kill those who are still circumcising their sons. Like, what are we focused on, Israel?
Right. Left the drawers in the bathroom like, we could die tomorrow. Pick them up.
Yes, sir. Exactly. But that's the devil. The devil knows he's in a losing battle.
Mm-hmm.
He's just trying to take as many with him as possible. We can't stop it. Just try to demonize it. They demonize it. Look, the tweet said, and it's crazy because the whole tweet said, look, Kanye is going DEFCON 3 on all Jewish people. And then at the bottom of the tweet, it says, he is a Jew, right? They completely ignored the bottom part of that tweet. People got in an uproar because he said he's going DEFCON 3 on all Jewish people. Do y'all know what that is? It's a defense. It's a defensive. It's a defensive mechanism and strategy. No, that's what he said. DEFCON 3, yeah. It's a defensive position. And people ignorantly took that as he's ready to go to war. He's about to start attacking. That means he's already being attacked. Right. But look how evil the devil is. He switched it and had the whole world mad like he's going against Jewish people. No, he's saying Esau is coming against him. And is that not the truth? Is Esau not coming and oppressing us? So we really dealing with the devil. When the Bible talks about the son of perdition, it's that nigga for sure. He evil for sure. But go ahead.
Verse 58, and said in their heart that there is no God.
And the thing is that, again, the Most High is all about principle. You got a lot of, and that's how men move a lot of times. We don't like a lot of the in-between because we base off of principle. It's either on and it's off, right? It's a principle thing with the Most High. He says, when you're not doing the things that I'm commanding you to do, you hate me in your heart, and you're basically saying, I don't exist. The in-between is people saying, no, I do believe in God. But you're doing everything in your actions showing that you don't believe in God. People, and my mom used to tell me that, and it's just now clicking. When I was a kid, you only lying to yourself. Hell, I'm going to lie to myself. I know what I'm saying. You really lie to yourself and get you to believe something that is not true. Like, it's really levels to this. And Esau has perfected this through this new age slavery, and that's why there's no need for chains no more. We are perfectly trained dogs. We living in a big house, and we got a big yard, and we think this is the whole world.
Man.
We got Benihana. We got Jack in the Box. Well, shit, I feed my dogs, too. Right. We got all this good drink. My dogs drink, too.
Right. The crumbs that fall from the master's table. We don't get the fresh produce, but we get the stuff that gets passed down. You get the crumbs.
This is a perfect slavery. It's wicked. It's wickedly genius. Esau takes the crown. I clap it up for him. Good job, bro. Good job, brother, as they would say. He did an amazing job at being the devil. Man. And our people have a hard time understanding that and putting themselves in the right mentality to go against it. We still products of it. How are we in the truth when we still a product of his slavery? When we're supposed to be reversing this curse. Now the power and the ball is on our court. How are we still being affected by what's being displayed on HBO? And we still having those same Tyler Perry moments in the house. Like, still having them moments in the street, them nigga moments like the Boondocks talked about. How are we still affected by Esau when we're children of the Most High now?
Let me say, because the scriptures talk about he's going to be wearing out the saints. We're always going to be affected, but how are we succumbing to? How is it that we give in? We already know the standard. It's really not about, like I said, ignorance. Yeah. You trip, pop off at the mouth. You know you was wrong. Get raged and lose your cool, and all these moments that we have. It's like you know these things are wrong. So it's ultimately those choices that we have to make, those things that we have to do. We can't be succumbing to that. This image that's always been put out of a strong, independent black woman. You bringing that into your marriage. Where does that exist?
I ain't never read about one of them in the Bible. I need you to be what this Bible is talking about. And we have to be real with ourselves, like, and be honest with your brothers and your sisters, because it's like people who struggle with like drug addiction and stuff. If they sitting there lying to their friends the whole time talking about they really alcoholics, the friends is providing the wrong type of support and getting them the wrong type of help. If there's something you're struggling with and you got a support system, you need to be honest about what you struggle with. If it's a man and you like, man, bro, I can't stop watching porn, or I can't, I don't know, whatever the vice may be. Or if it's a sister, like, man, I don't know why. I cannot stop going off of my husband. I cannot hump. You have to be real so you can get the proper help. The Bible says that his words is like medicine. If you was to apply them, it'll fix your life.
Facts.
But again, you have to apply it. Right? So go ahead. Verse 58.
Verse 58, and said in their heart that there is no God.
Y'all know what the heart is, right? The mind. So you don't ever have to physically say it. You had the thought, F it, I'm going to do it. God ain't going to get me. Basically, God don't exist. We have the thoughts. You don't have to ever say it, but you said it in your heart. Go ahead.
Yea, and that knowing.
Knowing that what?
They must die.
I don't want that to be my end.
Kind.
I don't want that to be none of y'all's end.
Kind.
I want our end to be eternal life.
Kind.
Go to 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 3.
Second Timothy chapter 2, verse 3. There thou Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ.
We know life is hard, y'all. It's the saying in the military, embrace the suck. You know the conditions we living in and the life you about to pursue is about to be hard. Embrace it. Find comfort in that. It's like when you finally, like, you ever had a situation where you wasn't trying to get, I remember, like, back in the summer where they would have balloon fights, water balloon fights. You be trying your hardest not to get wet because you really just wanted to show up and chill, but you finally just get a little wet. You're like, man, come on. You just get all the way up in there. That's how it is. Embrace it. Like in the military, they probably dread that day where they got to get in the mud. They get to the point where they rubbing their face in the mud. Like, whatever, we here. We in boot camp. Embrace it. We know this life is hard. Stop crying about it. How you going to sit here and cry about the life that we brought to ourselves? Did we not make the decision to sin against God? So do we not need to change the conversation and shift the frustration? Stop being mad at God and be mad at yourself for what you have or haven't done. Go ahead.
Verse 4, no man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life.
What does that mean?
I say, like, we like war movies, right? And there was a good one. It's actually on Netflix right now. It's called All Quiet on the Western Front. So you really get to see the transition, and it always paints the picture of, like, the things that people who haven't been to war don't see. They all started off, they had just turned 18. They're excited to be in the military. They get that speech from this older man talking about the pride that they have. Everybody's marching off to war. They smiles and talking, and, oh, my goodness, we headed out. Then they got there. They was like, man, you got to do this. Right off the bat, dude got shot. He was like, man, you shoot, then you move. He was like, you got lucky this one time. Don't let that happen again, or that's it. Then that's when they start marching. They start having to move. At that point, they couldn't focus on those things. Sometimes they even, in the military now, that's one of the things that they master. They take all that away from you. You don't get cell phones. You don't get calls home. You can't get focused on that.
So did they get a chance to focus on how much money was in their bank account?
Nope.
Was they focused about their feelings?
Nope.
Was they focused that another man was yelling at them?
Nope.
Was they focused on who burned them back in the day and why they don't trust them?
Nope.
Was they worried about their trust issues?
Nope. None of those things were relevant. It was, at that point, it was the war. When they said march and everybody had to get up and start running, it was about running. It was about surviving. They see somebody, and there were, there's always that scene where they both run out of bullets at the same time. Now it's who's the fastest reloader. You can't be thinking about, man, wonder what my wife is doing right now. Wonder what my kids are doing. Right now, you got to survive this. If you can't survive this, it don't matter what they was doing. You'll never see it again. You need to be the first one to reload. You need to be the first one to survive. And we have to do that same thing in the truth as far as all these things that we encounter. It's never really about when you have the force of numbers. That's why the military, they teach survival training. What do you do when you by yourself? You manage to get in a situation because it can happen. You get separated from everybody else. You don't have the same level of protection, the same level of security, the same communication. That's when you need to learn how to survive. Don't do this. It'll get you killed. Don't light a fire. You better find another way to stay warm because this will signal to your enemies.
Our people committing suicide because not only do we lack the basic survival training, but now we separate ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Literally.
Suicide. So read verse 4 again.
No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life.
If you truly understand that we are on a war path, fighting for our way to go back home, we have to stop worrying and having these same arguments about the things of this world. It gets to that point to where I kind of sit back, because I have a lot of conversation with the bishops and the deacons. That's who I like to be around. And we just talk about the state of our people and what it's going to take to get to where we're trying to go. And I just sit back and I'm just like, I don't know what people be focused on a lot of times, because it doesn't seem like they're focused on getting home. I try my best not to complain about stuff that we know is already going to suck about this life, because we already know. Instead, I'd rather be complaining about stuff that we're going through in this truth on a righteous tip. Like, yeah, got persecuted by such and such, but I know the Most High came through me for this way. He blessed me with this. Like, let that be what we talking about. But if we really understand that we at war, which we are, we can't be worried about the things of this life. Go ahead.
That he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier.
Sisters, y'all enlisted too. Y'all fight is just a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all not on the front line. Y'all back at the hospitals and the medics and the support. You feel me? Y'all in this war too. Go ahead.
And if a man also strive for masteries, yet is he not crowned, except he strive lawfully.
We want to make sure that the masteries and the professions and things that we want to acquire are lawful.
Yeah, and that's one quick thing. It's like you said, where you place your value. You sit up here going through a tough season. You don't have the money you used to. You don't have the transportation you used to. But then you're not in sin. There's something to take comfort in. But what do you value? Because if you value the money and you value, the comforts and things that you're so accustomed to, it's gonna stress you out and take you away. But you living righteously, so you still have comfort in things. But if you focus on everything the world has to offer, you stressed, you pained, going through all these things. It says you have to strive lawfully.
What they say, comparison is like the killer of joy.
Mm-hmm.
We know that sinners have blessings in this life. That's why Most High said, don't marvel at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got the Benz. Yeah, she got that. Yeah, she got the BBL. Her body look good. What, like?
She ain't got the kingdom.
She ain't got the kingdom.
She don't have no hope.
They don't even have the spirit. Look how little we think of the spirit that we have. When's the last time you boasted that you got the spirit of God on you? Or have you ever? How we belittle the spirit? We know we got the spirit on us. Like, we think about the law. We could reason with people with the law. No, we got the spirit. Last scripture. 1 Corinthians 9:24. And this is what Brother Amatazai brought out earlier as far as, having purpose. We do this with purpose.
1 Corinthians 9:24.
Uh-huh.
Know ye not that they which run in a race run all?
Everybody's running. And the good thing is, we're all different parts of a body. So we all make up one person, but we're running as a collective. Go ahead.
But one receiveth the prize.
You see, we gonna get that prize. The whole nation of Israel, as it's talked about. Go ahead.
So run.
Don't, they didn't say walk. It didn't say, what's up with things? Oh, what they got, the speed walking and all that?
Yeah,
Run. Y'all can take that physically and literally too, and spiritually. We at war, we got to get our bodies right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too far removed from that. I got to get myself together as well. Run. Let's get our stuff together. God. But more so spiritually, run this race so that we could do what?
That ye may obtain.
We want to obtain this dub, right? We want to get this victory. We want to get this win. We want to defeat death. And we know it's possible. Why? Because Christ did it. He set the example. We're not doing something that hasn't been done. All praise be to the Most High, Israel. We can close out.